so welcome to class. This is a class that's going to be about helping our hamstrings, also helping to work with the psoas muscle too. So really particularly hamstrings, psoas muscle, and also working with the anterior pelvic tilt. We're also going to be looking at glute strengthening as well. And there'll be some work for the core and some breath work as well. So a bit of a combination of things that will help, particularly to release the psoas muscle. Just before we start, I'm going to be using, I probably won't use this today actually, but what I will do is use the 2 blocks to sit on. So just making it a little bit higher so that you can relax a little bit more and use gravity to draw the knees down. We're going to be using those 2 blocks for seated. So if you have a couple of blocks, you've got time to pause the video and then just go and grab a couple, or maybe a couple of cushions or a bolster, anything that you've got, anything that will be helpful. Good. But what will happen is we'll be lifting up a little bit more through the spine. So as you can see, being on 2 blocks takes you a little bit higher up. Then when you come into your cross legs or your sukhasana, you will find that there's a bit more space for those knees to release. So when we're just on the floor, there's only so far you can go. But also when you're lifting up here, you've got a little bit more space for the back as well. So we find often when we come onto blocks, we can lift the chest, lift the heart up a little bit more, and therefore kind of create a little bit more length through the spine. So I'm also going to be working with these 2 blocks today as well when we come to our downward facing dog, which is going to be helpful for the hamstrings, and it will enable you to be able to bring potentially bring the heels a little bit lower to the floor, maybe even to the floor, depending on how high up you need them. So we're going to work with those as well. So again, you've got that option. I get these from Yoga Matters. If you do need any, you can always message me and I can sort them out for you. Or you can use books or something that will just give you a little bit more lift. Good. Okay, so we're going to begin just with some nice gentle breath work. So start by just maybe closing the eyes, relaxing the shoulders, and just softening a little bit through the whole body. So see if you can let go and find a lightness around the arms and the legs. I'm going to work with a breath practice known as Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathing, just for a moment. That will just give us just a way of settling into our practice and bringing that awareness inwards for a moment. So hands can be resting in the lap, or you can just have them resting on the thighs. We're going to take 2 or 3 nice long breaths in and out just to prepare before we start the alternate nostril breathing. So just take a moment to settle the shoulders and the hips. Let the head sit comfortably on the shoulders. Good. And we're going to breathe in, taking a nice slow breath in. And then breathing out through the nostrils. Just relaxing. Let the shoulders relax and soften. Good. Okay, and again, we're going to breathe in. Nice long, slow breath, filling the lungs. Let go of the belly so you can feel that breath in the tummy as well. And then a lovely slow exhale through the nose, if that feels good. Good. And one more time. Nice long breath in. And then exhaling. Just relaxing, letting go of anything that you don't need just for the next few moments that we're in this practice. Good, well done. Really nice. So with alternate nostril breathing, we'll be leaving the left hand just resting down on the knee. Right hand, we're going to bring the 2 fingers just to the center of the eyebrows, and then we use the thumb and the other finger just to open and close the nostrils. So we're going to start by taking a nice deep inhale through that right nostril. So inhaling through the right to begin with. Good. And then we're going to exhale through the left. Good. And then we inhale left. Close the nostril, exhale right. Inhaling right. Closing and exhaling left. exhaling right. Inhaling right. And exhaling left. Inhaling left. And exhale right. Inhaling right. And exhaling left. Inhaling left. And exhaling right. Inhaling right. And exhaling left. Inhaling left. And exhaling right. Good, and then relax, bring the hands just gently down to the knees, eyes can be closed still. Let go of the breathing and just breathe in a nice natural way, just a few nice slow natural breaths to just re-establish your own natural breath pattern. Good, well done. And then from here, just very gently start to flicker open the eyes. And we're going to come down to the floor. So we've had a little bit of time here just seated, working in our Sukhasana or in our crossed legs. So removing the blocks, you're going to place them just to one side. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. And we're going to start to do some work with some gentle pelvic curls. So as you come down onto your back, just nice and relaxed, make sure the feet are in line with the hips. You're going to soften down to the floor, good, and then relax the arms nice and gently by the sides of you, good. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, just relaxing everything, feel the spine release to the floor, just let go of any tension, good, and again, breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Now this time as you breathe in, you're going to just very softly feel a little arch in the back. Maybe you can even get your hand just underneath that back as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you're engaging, you're recruiting these muscles here and just very gently tipping the pelvis so that you feel the lower back connect with the floor. Good, well done. Inhaling as you relax here to a soft arch, and then exhaling as you round, almost drawing that navel back towards the spine. Feel the lower back pressing down, and again inhaling, releasing to a soft and gentle arch. Good, and then exhaling as you find that gentle curve. Good, and again inhaling, soft arch, and then exhaling as you draw the tummy in, finding a flat back. Good. Now this time we're going to inhale, good, as we find that gentle soft arch in the back, and then as we exhale, I want you to hold here for a moment, draw the tummy in and completely empty the lungs. And then hold your breath just for a moment until you feel that need, just to release to a soft arch and inhale. Good, so exhaling again to flat back. Blow all the air out and then connect into your core, squeeze the tummy, keep that tilt. Good, holding the breath just for a few moments. Good, and then inhaling to a nice soft and gentle arch as you curl the pelvis in the other direction. Good, and again breathing out, extending into that breath, just letting go fully of the breath. So, and then once you've blown all the breath out, holding here, but really squeeze your tummy back, lift your pelvic floor, and then when you feel the need to inhale, Just relax and come back to that soft arch. Good. And then fully relax here for a moment. Deep inhale and a long exhale. Well done. Be with your breath just for a moment. Just let that soften. Good. Now taking a deep inhale. This time you're going to start to gently draw the back down towards the floor. This time pressing into the hands, the arms and the feet. And rolling up through the spine. Good. All the way up to the top. Take a breath in at the top, exhaling slowly, wrapping the ribs in as you come down. Good. And then releasing all the way to the bottom. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Good. So deep inhale at the bottom, exhaling, draw your tummy in, lift your pelvic floor. Start to lift the hips all the way up, rolling up through the spine. Good, up to the top as far as feels comfortable. Then a breath in at the top and exhale as you wrap those ribs in and sink all the way down. Seeing if you can touch every vertebrae all the way down. Good. And again, 1 more time. Start to lift all the way up. Good, nice mindful movement here. And then slowly rolling all the way down. Good, as you get to the bottom, hold that core in again for a moment and just feel that strength and that gentle pelvic curl, almost like you're tucking the tailbone under a little bit here. Good, 1 more time, breath in and exhale, release, fully let go. Good. As you inhale next time, you're going to bring the knees in towards the chest, stretching out the lower back a little bit, and let's find just a nice gentle happy baby while we're here. So feet come up towards the ceiling, legs nice and wide. We're going to draw the knees down just to wherever feels good. So remember, here is okay. This is okay. The important bit is you've got as much of the tailbone and the back of the head down on the floor as you can comfortably. Then from there you create a little bit of pressure. Good. But it might be you can take a hold of the ankles or maybe the feet. If you can, by all means do, but not if it's creating any discomfort. Let's softly rock one side and then the other. Just find a little gentle movement here. And then relax your feet, just turning the feet gently before slowly bringing those feet back down to the floor. Good. Now from here, we're going to come over onto one side and then come and bring yourself just to that lovely sideline position. So you might want to face the camera on both sides. So see what feels the phone on both sides. So see what feels right for you. We're going to come and work with clamshells, which are really nice for the psoas muscle and for building this hip strength and glute strength. So first of all, come down onto the first side, extend your arm above your head and then just rest your head. If it feels uncomfortable, you might want to pop a block somewhere, to block it up, or have a cushion or something if that feels better. We're going to bend the knees, bring the knees up to maybe not as much as 90 degrees, but enough so you've got just a nice gentle bend there in the knees. Press the palm of the hand down into the mat. That gives you a little bit of support there. And think about lifting the waist away from the floor a little bit here. So try not to slump completely down. Try to keep a little bit of connection into those core muscles. So navel back towards the spine, etc. So I'm going to keep the feet together. Take a nice deep inhale. As we exhale, we're opening the knees and then we're releasing and just lowering all the way down. So only go as far as feels good for you. I'm going to open and close, but the feet stay together. And again, open and close. And there's 2 more on this side. So open and close. Feel that movement around this hip joint. And then last time, open and close. Good, well done. Just relax for a moment. We're going to change the movement a little bit here. This time what we're going to be doing is maybe bring those knees in a little bit more. See how it feels. Find what kind of works for you. But what we're going to be doing here is lifting the foot up until we feel a little stretch as we almost inwardly rotate around this hip. And then we're going to be lowering. Okay, so we're going to do 5 of those on this side. So take a nice breath in. Exhaling, we're going to start to lift There we go, and lower. So feel that little internal rotation in the hip, lifting and lowering. And it might be that for you the internal rotation happens a little bit lower, lifting and lowering, or it might be that you have to lift that leg a little bit more to get more of an internal rotation. So, but just find what's comfortable. And then last one, lifting and lowering. Good, well done, really nice. So just straighten the legs away for a moment. Good, take a little bit of movement around those feet. Again, you can keep supporting here with that hand. Good, and then we're gonna just flex the feet, so push away into your heels for a moment. Just feel that stretch in the back of the calf muscle, and then release to just a nice soft gentle point almost of the toes. We're gonna pick up that top leg and we're gonna bring it in towards the chest, and then we're gonna bend that knee back and see if you can take a hold of this ankle. Good, and then just let the knee rest there for a moment. Just gently, maybe touching that knee that's supporting underneath, maybe a centimetre away. Good. And then start to draw that knee back a little bit, and you'll feel a really nice stretch through the front of the quadriceps. Good. Breathe here. Inhale deeply and exhale. Good. And don't worry if you wobble about at all. Part of this is learning to stabilise your core. So it's always okay if you do roll about. You just need to right yourself again and use that core strength to hold yourself there. Good. One more breath in and release. Let go of the leg. Good. Maybe just gently, a little bit of a rub into the hip, and then you're going to bring yourself up. Good. Let's come to the center for a moment. Take a little stretch with the arms because they get a bit fixed there where you're underneath, where you're laying on the arm. So lifting one arm up first, take a nice stretch and release, and then the other one lifts too. Lovely big stretch and release. Let's take a little twist. So inhaling and twisting to one side. Don't worry whether you're left or right. And then gently over to the other, just releasing any tightness. Good. And then from here we come down to the other side. So come and lay down, bring the arm out. Good, you're going to rest here for a moment. Bring the hand just so it gives you a little bit of support here, a little bit of balance. Good, and we're coming first of all to these clamshells. So feet together and they stay together, bending the knees. Going to take a breath in as we open the knee and close. Good, and again, open and close. Well done, and again, opening, closing, and open and close. Good, one more time, 5 on each side. Then releasing for a moment, and we take a breath in and just readjust if you need to at all, bringing knees together and ankles together. Good, be comfortable in your posture. Well done. So knees now stay together, but we open the feet. So taking a deep inhale as we exhale, those feet, that top foot lifts and we feel that little rotation, internal rotation into the hip, and then we release. Good. And again, lifting the foot and release. Beautiful. And again, lifting and releasing. Good. Lifting and release, just so that you can feel that little turn in the hip. Lifting and releasing, and I may have done 5 already. If I have, you're getting an extra 1. Good. Lift and release. Good, well done. So extending both legs away for a moment, take a little stretch, a little point and a little flex. And then you're going to take a breath in and start to bring that top knee up a little bit. Feel the little stretch around the bottom for a moment. And then bringing the heel towards the bottom, you're going to draw that leg back and take a hold of your ankle or your foot. And again, you can maybe use the other foot as a bit of a break here so that you're not kind of rolling about too much. Good, but we're using the core, so don't worry if there is a little bit of movement. Good. Now take a full breath in here And then as you exhale, you're going to start to push the foot just into the hand, maybe drawing that foot back a little bit. Feel that stretch through the front of the thighs. Good. And we're holding here just for a few breaths. Inhale and exhale. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. And then last breath before we exhale, just releasing the leg. Good, well done. And just have a little stretch as well there. We're going to bring ourselves back to our cross legs for a moment. Well done. So come to cross legs. Nice stretch through the arm. This time we start on the opposite arm, lifting all the way up. Lovely side bend. And then release. And then the other side. All the way up. And down. Good, nice work. So from here, we're coming over onto our hands and knees. So come and find Varmanasana tabletop pose. If you do have blocks, you might have those kind of at the ready. They just help to bring the hands up when we're coming into that downward dog as we discussed before. So think about just gently lining up so that you've got your shoulders over the wrists, knees underneath the hips. Good. Now, hopefully that feels nice and comfortable. You might need to pop a little blanket under the knees if you've got anything going on there. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. See if you can just open the chest a little and look up through the eyebrows. Good. Rolling the eyes up. Exhaling into your cow pose. Good. And again, we inhale into cow. And we exhale into our cat pose. Good, rounding the back. Really think about tucking that tailbone in a little bit. Inhaling, opening chest. And exhaling, rounding. So it's as if you've got a big boxing glove pushing up through the center, lifting, lifting. Inhaling, you're almost pushing the floor away with those fingers. Good, and exhaling. Well done. And you can continue with this a little bit, just very softly moving at your own pace, maybe bringing a little bit more awareness to the anterior pelvic tilt. So when we talk about the anterior pelvic tilt, that's when we're tucking that tailbone under, lifting. Posterior is when we push the bottom back. Good. So 2 more times, rounding and releasing. And again, rounding into your cat pose, releasing into cow pose. And then let's come and find just a nice neutral spine. And before we move on, we're going to do one more on our hands and knees, which is really helpful for that realignment of the pelvis. So bringing the hands to the floor, we bring the right foot out to the side. Good, and find comfort here. We're going to start just by drawing the hips back a little bit. Plant the foot down on the floor on this side. Good. We're going to inhale as we gently lead the top of the head forwards. Exhale, drawing back. So you'll feel a lovely stretch in the inner thigh and you're getting some nice work into the hips and the pelvis. Good. 3 times we'll do that. So inhaling forwards, exhaling back. Good. And again, inhale forwards, exhaling back. Good. And one more time. Inhaling forwards and exhaling back. Good. Come back to neutral. Take a deep inhale and then exhaling, taking the other leg out to the side. Good. Plant the foot down into your mat. Well done. We're going to inhale forwards and exhale, drawing the hips all the way back. Inhaling forwards. Good. Nice work. Exhaling. Draw those hips back, nice and level through the pelvis. Inhale forwards and exhale back. Good, and then come back to the center, back to your hands and knees. Good. Just releasing and rounding a little bit into your cat-cow here, just to soften and realign that pelvis. Good, well done. And then from here, we're going to work with fire hydrants to help build your glute strength a little bit. So just going to do a few of these on each side. When you're doing this yourself, feel free to do maybe up to about 10 on each side if you wish. We're going to just work with a few today, but again, it's something you can work with yourself, and if you need to build one side more than the other, then obviously you can take a little bit more time on one side. Fire hydrants, what we're going to be working with is Bhavanasana, tabletop posture, pressing the palms of the hands down, spreading the fingers. Good, and then from here, draw your tummy in, so find that you're finding a really lovely long back. Breath in here, we're going to start to lift that right leg out to the side and then bring it back to the centre. Good. Inhaling as we lift, exhaling as we lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Good, let's come to the other side. So if you need to, give the hands a little bit of a shake and just release any tightness there. And then let's come to the other side. So on the other side, the same. Just find that lovely tabletop posture, feet pressing down into the forefront of the feet, and then firm up the body, squeeze everything. And then we take a breath in, we're going to lift the other leg up and then bring it down. Inhaling as we lift, exhaling down. Inhaling, lift, exhaling down. And again, lifting and lowering. And then last one, lift and lower. Good. And then from here, bring the feet together behind you. Come and find your child's pose for a moment and just rest here. Be with your breath for a few moments. Nice deep inhale and a long exhale. Good, breathing in and breathing out. Really nice. And just find that breath almost in the back of the body. Good, so you can feel that lovely intense breath in. Maybe the belly is releasing and expanding as you're breathing in. We're creating lots of space through the body as we breathe. Good. And then we're going to come and find hands and knees again. So gently lifting all the way up to our hands and knees. Now this time you're going to bring the blocks in if you have them. Now if you haven't got them at the moment, you can just work with a normal down dog. But having the blocks is going to help you to learn to bring those feet down. So even if you want to borrow some, any of my students out there, if you want to borrow them, you're welcome to, kind of let me know, and I can make sure you get blocks when you're in class. Good. So we're going to curl the toes under, spread the fingers nice and wide. Make sure that your blocks aren't going anywhere. That's a really important thing to do before you get started. Otherwise, you don't want to be slipping and sliding. So make sure that they're nice and connected into the mat. Curl your toes under, draw your tummy in. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to lift the knees softly away, and then you can maybe walk those feet in. Good. And then settle into your downward facing dog. So start to bring that attention to your shoulders. Let go of your head. Good. Just relax the head a little bit, a little shake and a little nod. Draw the tummy in, pressing sit bones back towards the back of the room. So for some of you, maybe a little bend of the knees will help you just to push the sit bones back a fraction. Maybe thinking about drawing the torso a little bit closer towards the top of the thighs. Good. Now be with your breath here for a moment. Inhale and exhale. Good. We're going to work with just some soft heel lifts. So take a nice breath in, lifting the heels up. Find a stretch in the back of the toes. Exhaling, heels come down towards the floor. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Good, nice work. And one more time. Inhale up, exhaling down. And then let's soften and release the knees to the floor. And then come and find your child's pose. Again, if you wish, bring your blocks in. And you can just rest your head gently, just softly and gently on the blocks. Gives you a little bit more of a rest for the back of the neck, especially if your head doesn't want to come down to the floor. And you might find you're more likely to get the bottom kind of touching the heels with the blocks underneath the forehead. Deep inhale and a long exhale. Really relax into it. Breathe in, breathe out.
Some of you may wish to squeeze and release and move the wrists a little bit, squeeze the hands. You might be feeling a little bit tight around the wrists. Good, be with your breath here, inhale and exhale. Nice work. Good, breathing in, breathing out. Really lovely. So we're going to move into some little hip lifts that are going to help to stabilise the pelvis a little. And you can do these standing or you can do them kneeling. I'm going to do them kneeling today, but as always, you know, you can also do them standing using a block or standing on the edge of the stairs or on a step. But I'm going to do them with the block today just to kind of show you how that works as well. So what we're going to do is bring a block alongside. We're going to take one block underneath one of your knees. Good, so you'll feel a little bit wonky through the pelvis, and then come to your hands and knees for a moment. Let's take it on that side and you'll be able to see what I mean. There we go. Good, well done. Okay, so again, we press down softly into the hands, really relax into palms of the hands, remembering Hasta Bandha, that connection into the hands. Good, knees just on that block, so the other knee is on the floor. Going to take a breath in, we're going to lift the other knee and we're going to release it down. So you can feel that movement around your pelvis, lifting and lowering. Now I'm aware that I started to come forward, so just be aware of your placement. Try to keep those hips or keep the body, shoulders particularly, in a nice alignment. And let's lift and lower again. And then one more time, lifting and lowering. Good, and then release. Beautiful. We're going to come to the other side, so popping the block under the opposite knee. Good, take a moment in between just to soften and relax if you need to. Good, and then from here get yourself nice and set up again. Good, and we're bringing that pelvis just a little bit off of alignment. Then we're going to squeeze using the strength from this leg, the standing leg, but also as we're moving, we're lifting one hip and down, and it's helping to increase our pelvic stability. So take a nice deep inhale, exhaling, relax, and then you're going to lift, good, and lower. Well done. Try not to press down too much into the hands, you use your core as well, and lower, lift, and lower, and lift and lower. And then we're going to do one more of those, lifting and lowering. Good, well done. Remove your block and then let's take another little child's pose here. Relax down to the floor, soften your forehead. Maybe the arms are extending, maybe the arms are coming behind. The important part here is that where we have worked to stabilise the pelvis, strengthen a little bit around that pelvis, we're now rebalancing. We're getting back into a place where it feels nice and level on both sides. So just release and let go. Deep inhale, long exhale. Good, well done. Breathing in and breathing out. Really nice work. Good. So from here, let's bring ourselves back up to seated. We're going to bring the legs out in front. Good. And we're going to work a little bit with our boat pose and our tortoise pose, because they help to build the core strength a little bit, which in turn, of course, is really helpful for the lower back. Helps to stabilise the pelvis and then helps with these hamstrings as well. So just find your boat pose for a moment. Feet come to around about 6 inches in width. We're just going to hold on to the back of the knees today. Open the chest, lifting that chest up. If this feels too much, you can bring the hands behind and you can just work here. See how that feels almost even to lift the chest up as well and get that lovely opening through your heart centre. Good. So, but just for the moment, be here with your breath wherever you are, just enjoying that opening, that lift. You're connecting into your pelvic floor, so you're lifting everything up. you're also drawing your tummy in, and you're also lifting the chest and opening across the collarbone. So we've got a lovely straight line from top of the head all the way down to the tailbone, or as straight as we can get without kind of checking on ourselves. So just be with your breath here for a moment. Inhale and exhale. Good, well done. And now from here, we're going to start to relax. We're going to bring the feet gently together, nice and far away, but we're softly just letting the back round and letting the head relax. Good, breathe here. 3 nice long breaths in and out, just to let go of any tension through the tummy. Good, breathing in and breathing out. Really nice. Good, let's soften and release. We're going to come all the way back. Bring the knees up. Press away with your heels and point your toes. We're going to bring the hands, just walking them maybe a couple of hands widths behind. Keep an eye on your wrists. Remember, you can move the hands if you need to make it a little bit more comfortable for the wrists. Good. Now here, what you're going to do is either just stay here on the floor, gently pointing toes, lifting the heart up. Good. Or for some of you, if it feels okay, if there's a lightness and if it feels okay for your wrists, you're going to think about drawing the belly in, lifting up through the pelvic floor, and then maybe there's going to be just a gentle rise away, but don't feel you have to push yourself into that position. Breathe here. Deep inhale, long exhale, maybe lifting a bit more if it feels okay. One more breath in, exhaling, slowly coming back, and then return to that little half tortoise pose where you're just relaxing. Maybe arms are coming underneath. You might be locking the feet if that feels okay. And then a deep inhale, expanding the belly before we exhale. Good. Well done. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Good work. And then with 1 more breath, we're going to start to bring ourselves all the way back up. Good, and then bring yourself into a nice cross-legged pose for a moment. We're just going to work through a couple of little stretches before we finish. So to begin with, we're going to come cross-legged, and then we're going to take one leg and just bring it behind. So we're coming into what we call a little mermaid pose. We're going to soften both of the hips down. Now you might find that you're hitching up quite a lot here. If it feels really uncomfortable, maybe you can use a block just to give you a little bit of support, gives you something to work with. But what we are working on really is trying to get that hip, that sitting bone down towards the floor. But we just soften and relax into it. So be with your breath. Deep inhale and a long exhale. And again, you can just sit here for a while, just letting everything soften and relax. Good work. We're going to take a nice stretch over to one side. So lifting the arm all the way up. Lovely long line from fingertips all the way down through the side of your body. Exhaling, release. And then as you bring it back the other way, you'll notice that it's quite tight here. You won't want to go too far. So just see what works for you. Breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Good. Softly release all the way down. Good. And then from here, you're going to bring the leg back in and take the other one out to the side. So notice how it feels on this side. It might feel different, might be slightly higher up and away from the floor, it might be lower down. Take your time just to soften and relax both sit bones down for a moment. It can take a little bit of time with your breathing, so inhaling and exhaling. Deep breath in, long breath out. And as you breathe out, maybe you're just softening and relaxing a little bit more. Good, well done. And again here, if you wish, we're going to take a nice stretch. Just helps to create something for us to, actually it's something for us to do so that we can then let everything release a little bit. So a nice big stretch here, and then coming over in the other direction. Good, maybe find a nice gentle stretch, and then come back to the center and just relax again, letting that
sit bone just sink down a little bit more. Good, breathe here, inhaling and exhaling. Gorgeous. And then finally, we're going to bring that leg in. We're going to bring both of the feet together and find Baddha Konasana. So bound angle posture. We're going to bring the heels as close into the bottom as we can. Some of you might feel that being on a block is useful. Maybe that's helpful to lift the spine a little bit. Good, bringing the heels in just as close as feels good for you. Good. And then we take a nice deep inhale. Well done. Breathe in as you lift the chest, finding that lovely upright position. Good. Again, if it feels really uncomfortable, you can bring the hands behind you. Open the chest a little bit more, squeezing shoulders together, pushing the feet nice and firmly towards one another. Good. This is helping to rebalance the pelvis. Good, where we've worked on both sides. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, well done, nice work everybody. Deep inhale and a long exhale. Gorgeous. And then from here, we're going to start to just softly bring those knees all the way up. Maybe take a little stretch in front of you. You might want to relax the hands down and just soften and let go of the head for a moment. Good, maybe bringing knees together. Good, deep inhale into the back of the body, exhaling as you relax. And then let's come back to nice seated cross-legged pose or Siddhasana, whichever works for you. We're going to take a moment just to breathe here. So relax down, soften your shoulders, be with your breath. Deep inhale and a long exhale. Well done. You can close the eyes, you can rest the hands for a moment. And let's take 3 lovely long breaths in and out here. Slowly inhaling until the lungs inflate. Feel that expansion in your chest. Exhaling as you soften and let go of any tension. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Good. And then one more breath here. Well done. Take a lovely long breath in. As you exhale, you're going to just softly release the chin down onto the chest. You're going to inhale, lifting the arms all the way up. Palms of the hands come together, bringing it all the way down to your heart space. Good. Let's bring the hands to the forehead and we think kind and loving thoughts about ourselves and others. Take it to the lips and speak with kindness and the truth. And to the heart, and we have a kind, an open and a loving heart. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Hope that's been helpful. Take care, enjoy your week ahead, and I will see you all soon.